Good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. It's a little bit overcast outside, but all in all, a nice day. So anyways, we're here for Monday night's look back at a classic rock album. The album I've chosen for this week, for you those who have seen this week will know what it is, but for those of you who haven't, it's Whitesnake's Come and Get It. I'm going to get as up close a shot of this as you can see. There. It's such a good cover. I really like it quite a bit. I'm getting a bit of a reflection, so I'm going to try it a little bit from this side too, just so everybody can see it. Come and Get It, Whitesnake. And also the back of the album is really quite nice. The apple is busted. I think it's supposed to be suggesting that the snake has now escaped and is on the loose. There you go. So anyways, this album came out in April 6th, 1981. At that point in time, I was a few days away from my 17th birthday. I was only 16 at the time of this album's release. Released at Startling Studios from Tittenhurst Park in Ascot, England. That's where it was recorded. It's about 40 minutes or so long, so a little longer than average, but well within my listening range at that time period anyways, and perhaps that's the reason why I took to this album so well. On the Mirage Atlantic label here in North America, and I do believe that is what we have here. I'm just looking to see where the label thing is here. Doesn't really say. At least I'm not seeing it. And on Polydor in Japan and Liberty on the rest of the world. So this was produced, of course, by Martin Birch. One of the first albums I think that I owned that was produced by Martin Birch. That was the first time I seen it. My friend pointed it out because he was much more astute at these things than I was when I was younger. So who's appearing on this album? So this is David Coverdale on vocals, Mickey Moody on guitar and backing vocals, also does an acoustic guitar part on Till the Day I Die, and uses the voice box on Hit and Run. Bernie Marsden also on guitars and backing vocals, Neil Murray on bass, Ian Pace on drums, and John Lord on keyboards. So you got yourself about 3 of the 5, so half the guys here were playing with Deep Purple at one point, but we're not playing with them here on Whitesnake. Okay, so this album was my first Whitesnake album. So like so many bands who my first album that I listen to them if I like it and I want to go further with them. Generally speaking, it's among my favorite albums by those bands. So in this case, certainly I'm thinking it's probably my favorite Whitesnake album. So you've got on this particular album, because this is a remaster, because the original one that I had, I believe, was on vinyl. I think my first album by them was on vinyl, and then once I started collecting CDs, it was one of the first ones I bought again. Anyways, 10 tracks in total on this album, and then the bonus tracks, you have an extra 6 more. And basically, the first one of those, Child of Babylon, is an alternate rough mix. Girl, another alternate version and a rough mix. Come and Get It, another rough mix. Lonely Days, Lonely Nights, alternate version, another rough mix. Till the Day I Die, rough mix. And then Hit and Run, the backing track. So, yes, this is an excellent album. So the first track on it, Come and Get It, pretty typical of the album, I think. It's rocky. It's got a rock feel to it, kind of a hard rock feel, maybe a little bit softer than hard rock, so maybe a pop or what they might have called power pop kind of song. Catchy as hell, lots of hooks on it. Coverdale's voice is excellent on this song, but it's excellent on most of this album. Pretty strong vocals. It's also one of my favorite tracks on the album, and so it opens the album nice. The first time I heard it, it kind of hooked me into the album, and then from there I became a fan of this band. Hot Stuff, pretty solid track. Nothing fancy or nothing incredible about it, but it's a typical Whitesnake song as well. Don't Break My Heart Again. This one's a little bit more of a ballad, a little bit more of that sappy kind of poppy stuff. Not as big a fan of this particular track as some of the other tracks on the album. Lonely Days, Lonely Nights, okay track, but not terribly memorable. I don't find it to be one of these songs that I think of when I'm thinking of this album. Wine, Women, and Song, this one's pretty solid. Coverdale's voice is good on this. It's a, I wouldn't say it's a deep cut, but it's definitely one of the stronger tracks amongst the songs on the album. The next song, Child of Babylon, this is probably one of my two favorite or three favorite songs on the album. One that I used to sing quite a bit, and I've been, ever since I started listening to this for this episode, I've been singing that song a lot. I love his vocals on this. It's got that kind of longing, emotional appeal to it that I think his voice is known for. It's a kind of a poppy, bordering on hard rock song, and I do like this one quite a bit. Would I lie to you, honey? I think I got maybe the wrong one here. Anyways, this song, a little bit less of a, kind of a deep cut, but not a great one, but better than some of the other stuff on the album. I do like this song too. Then we got Girl, which is probably my favorite track on the album. Really catchy. The bass and the beat and the catchy hook part really draw you in. I think this is one of the most memorable songs on the album. And I think the lyrics, of course, are kind of, smarky if you want, or sassy is another word. But the song is catchy as hell. The hooks are catchy as hell. Then you got Hit and Run. Maybe not quite as much, but it's very similar to the song. And his vocals are great on this track. I think the guitars is pretty strong on this track as well. And then the final track, which is kind of a signature song for the album, Till the Day I Die. This one also, of course, features the acoustic bit by Mick Moody on it that I talked about earlier. It's a catchy song. It's got some riffing, hard rock, kind of upbeat, catchy, hooky, lots of hooks on this particular track, and just really ends the album nicely, I think. And then, of course, you've got all of the remixes, or the rough mixes, if you prefer to call it that, for the rest of the bonus tracks on here. So yeah, a solid album. I love this cover. I think it's probably my favorite Whitesnake cover. And the fact that they kind of show the apple with the snake out of it is really kind of snakes on the loose here, baby. So yeah, great album cover. This is in that time period before the band became a commercial giant. So it's a couple albums before that time period, and just an absolute excellent album. If you like the more bluesy, kind of less commercial sounding Whitesnake, you'll probably like this one. And the album that comes just after is really good too. So anyways, Whitesnake, come and get it. And you can come and get this video. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Much appreciated. Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section below, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. And we will see you next Monday for another look back at a classic rock album. Take care and good night.